Have you ever heard the expression, never keep in touch? This means that some conflicts are so great that it's best just to cut off contact with the person you're rehaving the conflict with, to completely distance yourself because the pain is too much. The misunderstanding is too big, and the only way to escape that pain is to walk away. In our text today, we have the example of two brothers who had a disagreement that seemed impossible to resolve. They even hated each other for 20 years. There was nothing more between them except hatred. But then, something miraculous happened. Their story shows us that forgiveness can change destinies, that reconciliation is possible even after 20 years of conflict. We'll talk more about this in a few moments. But first, I invite you to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our videos. Give us a thumbs up so you'll be notified when new videos come out. And may God bless you now and always. The story of Jacob and Esau is found in the book of Genesis, chapters 25 to 33. We find these two brothers fighting even when they were in the womb, as if they couldn't stand the sight of each other. They were very different. When Esau grew up, he was a skillful hunter, free, strong, living out in the open fields. Jacob, on the other hand, preferred to stay at home. He liked to think things through, plan things. While Esau was impulsive, Jacob was cautious. He didn't like surprises. One day, Esau came home from hunting and was very hungry, but there was nothing to eat. He asked his brother Jacob, who was cooking a stew, for some of that food. And Jacob said, "Okay, but you have to promise me something." "What is it?" asked Esau. "You know I love you, but I need you to do something for me. I want you to sell me your birthright." Jacob was playing a very dangerous game. He was offering his brother a deal he could never undo. But why would Esau agree? Esau said, "Look, I'm dying of hunger right now. What use do I have for my birthright? Here you have it. Sell me some of that stew." And Jacob took advantage of his brother's weakness, exchanging his birthright for food. This wasn't just a common disagreement over who would get the biggest piece of meat. This was a generational conflict. It was about the future of their family, their descendants, their land, their wealth. By selling his birthright, Esau was giving up on being head of the family, the leader. In short, he was renouncing the promises God had made to Abraham and Isaac, which would also apply to his descendants. However, Esau was so hungry that he didn't care about any of that, simply gave up his birthright and received the stew. We know that Esau, driven by hunger, didn't understand the weight of what he was giving up. But we also know that Jacob was very smart, and he didn't hesitate to use his cunning to trick his father Isaac, the help of his mother Rebekah, into giving him the blessing that belonged to his brother. Years passed, and the conflict between the brothers grew. One day, Esau said, "I hate Jacob. I really want to kill him." So Isaac sent his son Jacob away so he would end up dead at the hands of his brother. So Jacob spent 20 years alone, away from everyone he loved. He was no longer the same young man who tricked his brother. He had worked, grown, suffered, had children, but the memory of his past still haunted him. Then one day, God told Jacob, "It's time to return to your home country." Jacob was afraid. After 20 years, how could he return to that place full of pain memories? On his journey, he worked hard. He sent gifts ahead to try to appease his brother, divided his large family into groups so they wouldn't show up all at once, and prayed, earnestly asking God to forgive him and prepare his brother's heart to accept him. The night before he was to see his brother again, Jacob wrestled with God until daybreak. It was as if he was trying to defeat his past, to transform himself so he could face his brother as a new person. When he finished the fight, he limped away and his leg was injured. It was a physical manifestation of the pain he had carried for so long, but it was also proof of his struggle. During the fight, God gave Jacob a new name, Israel, which means one who wrestles, one who struggles. And as the sun began to rise, Jacob came face to face with his brother Esau. Let's imagine the scene. After 20 years, these two men who once fought in the womb and then almost killed each other, now face each other again. The passage says that Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming. There were 400 men with him, and Jacob was terrified. Did Esau want to attack him? Would he be killed along with all his family? The amazing thing happened. Esau ran towards Jacob, embraced him and hugged him, and both brothers wept. After 20 years of conflict, the cycle of hatred had been broken. They had decided not to carry the weight of the past anymore. There are many lessons we can learn from this story, but I want to highlight 3 points. First, don't underestimate the power of forgiveness. For 20 years, Esau and Jacob didn't speak to each other. They'd built a wall around their hearts, keeping only hatred and resentment. But when they finally met again, they realized that it was time to knock down that wall. The past could not continue to control their present and future. They chose to forgive each other and move forward. Second, recognize the signs of God's forgiveness. Jacob wrestled with God all night and emerged as a new person ready to face his brother. He had done everything he could to repair the damage he had caused and was waiting for God's guidance. When he saw that God had allowed him to see Esau, he knew he had been forgiven. Third, don't be afraid to seek reconciliation. After deceiving his brother, Jacob spent 20 years running away from his past. He didn't know if Esau had forgiven him, but he knew he needed to try. Reconciliation isn't easy, but it's always possible. Jacob took the first step and knocked on the door of his brother's heart. I leave you with a question. Are you carrying a burden from the past? Perhaps a pain that another person caused you? Maybe you feel that your efforts to fix things haven't been enough? Today, I encourage you to take a step towards healing. Don't let the enemy keep you imprisoned in your past. Take a step towards reconciliation. Forgive. Let go of pride. When Jacob and Esau embraced, they weren't perfect. Neither of them had fully understood the other's point of view. Neither of them had erased their mistakes. But they had taken the most important step towards healing. They'd chosen to move forward, to look towards the future, leaving the pain of the past behind. Remember, when there is repentance, God always opens a path to reconciliation. Thank you for watching this video. May God bless you, and until next time.
Thank you.